Hello guys, welcome back again to OSP Pro video channel. Now today guys, OSP Pro has come in with partnership with OSP Digital Solutions. Now we're going to just show you how to operate a simple centenary bank management system. Now this simple system is for on a simple set like a final project. But if you find you're interested in such kind of system, please you can always let us know. Just comment down on our video and then you just let us know. Now I'm just going to start by actually showing the internal stuffs. First off, we are going to learn how to create the shortcut of our given video channel to the desktop application or to the desktop part, so that we can create that real shortcut for application. Because our students are going to present, or if at all you are maybe going to present, we don't need you to move all along to the system. Just create a simple shortcut to application and then you just start running it. Now give assumption, make sure you have some running. I just have my some running. Now I'm just going to be in position first of all to pick the system where it is, and then I frame it to the desktop so that I don't need again to go that part of the system. So it's called banking, that then it is in the desktop. You just hit that enter. So this is what we want more in our desktop first of all at the moment. So we need to create a shortcut into our desktop just here. So to do that, we just add the following steps very fast. I create a desktop shortcut, create a shortcut. So I'm just going to give it the same name, Centenary Online Banking, or I can just give the name one on us online banking, something like that. We just create that, created. And I think if you check right now, we already have a shortcut of our system just in our desktop. So we don't need again now next time to just start actually going again back to the desktop. So when you just click here, it will be in position to launch. I give assumption, if I close up everything there, if the time you shall click here, that's how they create a shortcut for a given application. So the next thing, I'm just going to go and try to right click and try to change this system into the icon to something else so that it looks really kind of presentable. So I'll select on the icons, and I know I don't have any, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick anything which looks like an image, then just pick anything like an image, and then I just try to pick that, and not asking that then will frame it to this part where I will pick the icon. Now here I'm just going to pick something related to what I happened to say around before. It's kind of something called online banking. I think this one can work for us. We just take that very first, and then if you try to say apply, I think you can see now the stuff is already applied. And now our system is yet open to be launched. So if you try to launch from here, trust me, it should just be going straight to the part of the system on the login interface of the index.html or .php that you're going to create. Now the next thing, now I think now you can see we already have a shortcut as we already happen to direct us to the part of the page. Now administrator can always come in here and try to log into the system. I have the password called million into our system here with the password, and that's it. So when I try to hit enter, I think you can see now I'm now already into the part of the system. Now the thing with this system is that we would like now to see how can we try to give assumption, try to guess our clients. Now the first thing we have to do, we have the home page is the very page you're in. We have the deposit money or deposit money whereby client will be depositing, and also here view registered clients. So if I have one more registered client, so when I click in here to home whereby I'm going to be posting, actually registering the client, I'm going to just register my client as YouTube 1. Maybe the place where or the branch, then give the number, maybe it is 555, kind of 555. Then I may give the image of that given client. We just take this one here for Java. Then I give the email, maybe youtube@gmail.com. That's it. Then I just select the gender of that given client of ours and the date of birth. You can use this method, or you can just use by default date, or you can call it from the database itself. Then if you check this side, you give the type of the ID, and then you try to frame here the ID number, and then talk of the nationality. Maybe if it is from Somalia, give that credentials. So then here give the place where the person is, then here the number, whereby if you try to cross check again on our database here, we already know that implies in a simple term a given administrator should be in position to know the ID of its action, the ID is using. So if you try to cross check, if I go this our database and just take it to customer details, so if we have only one given client there so far, that's the detail of that given clients. I think you can see that client there with the details. So I can just come back here into our system and then just frame. If you check from our client, the ID number is 30. The client. Okay, the admin panel. The admin panel. The person working on the ID number is 13. So I'm just going to frame here, and I put actually 13. But if you want whereby the ID is already going to be picking from the system, then there's no need for you to give that ID. Then that implies the system will just be picking it automatically. So when I hit that enter thing, you can see now that the people registered in the system so far too. If I try to click there, I think you can now see that we have 2 people registered into our given system. That implies you have so far happened, you're done with giving actually one on us the registration. And we can print per given client. Like now if you try to cross check this is the first client, this is a second client with its details. If you check again our database too, we have that same kind of information to our database so far at the moment. I mean on the part of the client, part of the clients, we should be in position to find at least 2 people. I think you can see the details of that given person, where you have YouTube 1, blah blah, and this is the given database. They mean the details of that given user, actually the client, and I think you can also see this side we are tracking up the client, I mean the tailor who happened maybe to work on those given clients. So if you check back in here on our system, you can decide to print this given client. And to print that given client, you have 2 options. You have this part whereby if you click your print, we pick all that given client details, or you can either decide by picking from here. If I want to use only this side, the other side, there's some function that I have to add there. If I told you want to print only this kind of maybe this first client here, I think you can see we are framing this ID is 32. And if you check here also, if I try to click here, the ID for this guy is 33. Now to make that thing move the other side, like I've said, you have to come back here and try to add something called, there's something called limit, whereby we limit a given user or a given client. Only we want only that given client who happen maybe we are trying to print the details to be of the only person on the other side of the system. So we happen to add here something called limit. We are going to add something limit into our codes. Now if you check again here before maybe adding the limit into this piece of code, there's something I have to let you know here shortly. That if at all you try to cross check from our home and you may even view registered customers, this is it. At the moment we have one on us print and print. But we like maybe when I try to happen to click in this given user and I click here to say print, remember I happen to add here some given smaller functions that's handling that print. If you check from, that's from registered customers. If you check here down, I happen to add a smaller function called the print.php, which actually print a customer, whereby it's going to be tracking from the customer ID or customer ID. So to pick that, I'm just going to go back the other part of the system, in the part of the print where we are trying to push the other stuff to. Underneath or just up here on this code, I'm going to add something called limit 1, whereby limit 1 in simple term means I want only that customer that we're trying to pick the details of, or trying to pick the detail of that given customer, is only going to be in the part of called print. That implies the one we are going to frame by ID is the one which is going to be picked by that given the details that actually we want at the moment. So if I try to come back here, and then now I try to click on print, pop up, wow, print customer 32. Then also we check that piece of code very well and print customer 32 and then 33. Check that piece of code. Just check this piece of code. So I want to limit that, try to limit here, limit 1, whereby limit 1 means in a simple term we want only one given user there, whereby if at all this ID is picked, we want on that given user. So let me just check this part of the code down here, try to shake that. Wow, sorry for that, man. problem is here. The problem is here. I think you can see search. I think I use this one from my server part of the system. This is it, server from my server. I think you can see from the server, from my server where I happen to use search. I think you can see this is what's bringing the problem. Now, this to avoid that, just comment that, or you can make the other one override this by you coming on here onto your program, and then after adding what known as a limit here down, after adding up limit here in your piece of code, and then we just tend to use that piece of code. We are going to limit this one search. Select. So if you try to come back in here and I try to pick this stuff, so that's what we happen to decide the system to do. So if you shake again now and try to cross that, wow, online, print online 1, 2, 3, expect payment that online 1, 2, 3. Let's check the code together and then just wind up that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 9. So the 1 to 9. So this is select. Sorry, this is select, and whereby if you try to see our select button is here already. So select the code, or if you don't want to do that, you just try to copy that piece of code. I take it to the server part of it. I put it here down to override the other one, because what I'm seeing is like the other stuff is coming from down. So if I save that and I try to refresh, we should find something relative to what we know. Check that again. Take that back here, and I just try to call it from the other side. Limit 1, good. But now I'm not going to use it since I'm not using it. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick this piece of code as it is, because we are saying where print underscore that is going to be taken as this. Limit that. So I'm just going to waste my time, a lot of time. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back to this piece of code where there's this, and I just try to, if possible, I just try to whip that, wind that up, and I say maybe where print underscore this is going to be the other side. But again, we have something called this here on this piece of code. So I'm just copy the entire piece of code, and I just come back maybe, sorry, just try to pick it around here, where we have this piece of code. We have your print this, print that, and then here I'm just going to change that to select for us. Oh, sorry, not select, search results. So this definitely is going to override the other first one, which is this. So if I try to hide that one off, and maybe try to refresh the page again. Wow, 1, 2. Wow, so this is it. So that implies it's picking the other stuff all. So would like now, if you say maybe limit 1, that implies it's only going to pick one given user, which is that. But now the disadvantage is that if you try to come back here, it will be picking only one throughout. Now I would like also to make that kind of clear, so that don't use limit everywhere. What I'm just going to do is this. I'm going to come down in my program, and I simply say maybe if what I happen to use this side of the program, I have something here down on my piece of code, which is this. If you send get print underscore customer, which is this, and also get for us the customer ID to be that, which is okay. then we are going to use this query to pick that given details for that given customer. So to do that, to make everything move as expected, I'll just copy that piece of code and I take it now this side as if it is another kind of a statement. No? So if I just come back here down, I'll just use this now. So if I happen to come back here, I may not use select because it's going to confuse my program. I may just use one known as pick. Just say pick, whereby the pick, in this case, is going to be picking the details of that given customer, which then is going to be picking it and bringing it around here. So I'm just trying to take this off like that, and I then try again my program. So if you check right now at the moment, the other part of the program is okay, but if you try to come here now, wow. So guys, let's try to check on that error. So to make something work like this, oh, wow, it now takes that very given individual, a kind of data from that given user. I hope you had some error initially. Now I made a mistake somewhere here up. When I was trying to call this is where the data is coming from. The data is coming from this big table, this table here. And if you check here, I happen to say select everything from the customer details, which I happen to echo up somewhere down, which this statement you are seeing is coming up from the server, whereby the server is saying select everything from the customer details. Now this side around on the print, you don't want every customer details to be printed out. You want only the selected given customer details to be given out. Now do such kind of statement whereby only given customer details is printed out. We need to add some kind of simple kind of logic functions to handle only given stuff. Now that one in most cases we tend to use one as an ID of a given element because kind of much unique to pick for us the data of that given element. Now to do such kind of stuff in a given system, I happen to handle something like, if you try to cross check again on here, I happen to I made something called, if you check here down on our element, I have something called print down, where this print down in our registered details, we have something called print. I think you can see print, but if you check down here, I mean here down, you see what's going to happen here. When I said, when I come in here, I think you can see there what known as booking million print.php question mark print is equal to 33, and if you just move up a bit, the print changes to 32. That implies in a simple term the ID is unique, and when you pick the ID, it's going to be dynamic. Now to frame such kind of stuff so that the things move where you want to go, I happen to call here one known as an identity ID to pick that, and then here I'm equaling one as print. Now this print becomes the ID of a given element, though indirectly you are picking the customer ID. So that implies this print and the customer ID are equal at that point. Now if you come back in here in our program, where we're going to be printing, I happen to say print, actually if instead get ID, get the print, the function we happen to say here on the question mark after question mark is equal to the customer ID, which is also equal to that print. But remember, we also know that customer ID is just a variable to represent that is an ID, whereby I happen to say here that select everything from our customer details, where customer underscore ID is equal to customer underscore ID. Then I happen to apply something called limit. Limit means select the number of how many people do you want it to be printed out. I want only one person to be given out. If you say 2, it will be 2 people. If you say maybe 1 point, actually 1,0, still means that's the very same person. So writing this is same as someone saying 1,0, whereby if you try to refresh, I mean on the other part of the page where we expect to have an element, where is it? We have 1, so this same as having 0, 1, and if you try to check again on element, sorry, the other was the vice versa, it would be 0, 1 still means only one person to be picked there. So you can either use it, or to my side I say it's useless, it's meaninless at the point we are not much on the part of the MySQL kind of injection. but since we are giving up our data, that's how they always tend to give up data in a given application. So guys, thanks for watching. If you find this video helpful to you, so guys, you can always hit up with me. Now remember, we happen to solve that kind of error. That's how I always solve it. Now the next thing, that how do you print this given date? So given this given user, you just need to copy that ID. If you want, you can just paste it here, and then if you say filter, you can say filter from here, which will give you, or you can just say print, whereby when before going to print, if I come and I need to filter, and when you filter, I think you can see the details of that given customer is given out. I think you saw this photo early enough. So if you try to say now, say maybe tend to say print, I think you can see now our given customer details is given out. So guys, if you find this video helpful to you, just give it a thumb. And if you have any question concerning how we happen to solve that error, guys, you can also comment down and tell us where maybe you happen to get lost. So guys, thanks for watching. Life all, maybe let us meet next time. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you.